Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new fans forum. Welcome to the show. Welcome back, everyone. Appreciate you, all of you, waiting out there. In welcome. I just woke up, by the way. If you can't tell, and I'm a little. I mean, I was waiting for my wife to get home, and I realized I slept for 2 hours. I was like, whoa, what the hell? And I had the little one rocking in his thing there. So woke up. Making sure he was all right. He sure was. He was sleeping. He was sleeping along with me, so everything turned out well. But welcome everyone to the fans forum. I appreciate everybody. Of course, hit the like, subscribe if you're new, become a member if you can. Visit our website NUFCtalk.tv at the end of the show. By the way, today we will be giving away the signed Andy Cole shirt, given away by Paul Clark. So all members.
Not the picture.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not a picture by Paul, but yes, an actual Andy Cole signed shirt. So if you're not a member yet, become a member now, because towards the end of the show, you will be able to participate and hopefully win the shirt. So there you go. All right. Well, welcome everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. How's everyone doing? Paul, Gary, Mighty Win, Steven, Mason, Andy Bell.
Good.
Everything good? Everything good? Everything
You know, good.
What's that book for, Mighty? When you gonna give that away too?
Well, no, because Andy won it.
Oh yeah, that's true. You gotta
Andy
give it
won
to
it,
him.
but I haven't sent him it yet.
It was like 2 weeks ago, man.
We're gonna meet for a beer or something, but he keeps standing us up.
Oh, that's not good, man.
Man. You see the moths come up with his wallet.
No. Well, we're supposed to be going to see Lee Clark on Friday, but he stood me up.
Well, no, I couldn't get any tickets. I said, I'm not. Where am I going to sit? I'm taking my donut ring to the pub with us, am
I? I might go see Beardsley next week.
All right, where's he on?
Where's he on?
He's in the Castle Hotel in Neath next Saturday on the 6th of June. But at the moment, I got tickets for Take That. At the moment, I've got to sell them first before I can get the ticket.
Yeah, man. Well, hopefully everything goes well, and just damn mail the book, man. Come on, stop being a cheap bastard.
No,
mail the book.
Man.
Mail the book. All right. Well, as you know out there, top news for Newcastle today. That we released 13 young players and 11 got their first pro contracts. That's a lot of players staying in there. I just threw my pen. Sorry about that. Anyways, but let's talk about that. I mean, a lot of moves being made by Newcastle already. And certainly, a lot of people going the Deadwood, quote unquote. Which kind of seems like not a good term, but Paul Dummett leaving and Matt Ritchie, along with three other players, and now you got 13 young players that we're going to talk about in a minute, including Peruvian tune legend Vilca, gone. So
forever.
But yeah, man, unbelievable. By the way, there's no people are saying academy player. He's 26, man, almost 30. I mean, he ain't no academy player, but yeah, he's been released along with others. But let me read this report right here, and then we'll get to you guys' comments. Newcastle United can announce its academy retain list for 24-25 season. Under 21 trio, Jamie Miley stays, got a new contract. James Huntley, Ellis Stanton have all agreed new contracts. While Nathan Carline, gosh, how do you say that name, man? Come on, man, stop. You can give me easier names. Will be supported by the club throughout his rehab following a long-term injury. Don't know what injury that is, but of course he's hurt, so he's not going anywhere. But 13 players left, man. And it is Amadou Diallo and Michael Nduweni, who made their first team debuts last season, are among the 13 young players that have been released. Also departing, are Will Brown, Jude Smith, Jordan Hackett, Matthew Bonswell, Lucas DeBali, Kyle Crossley, Dylan Stephenson, Sean Mavididi. Oh my God. And Rodrigo Vilca, as we mentioned earlier. Also under 18s, Taylor Ross, Carter Milmore, complete the list of players leaving and the academy. So a lot of these players I have no clue about. I mean, Rodrigo Vilca I known because he's Peruvian. Other than that, I would have never known he was there. He's been there for a while too, man. It's just, but a lot of these players kind of clearing up, you know. But what are your thoughts? We'll go around and I mean, what was the reason to have a lot of these guys? But I guess the bigger names, if there are any, would be Diallo and Dueni. But Paul, what are your thoughts on those? The club is certainly picking up the broom and letting go of some of these so-called talents.
Well, and thank God we've been behind for the last 10, 15 years in our academy. We are well behind everyone else. We create maybe one or two players that have any quality really. People obviously question if Longstaff is one of those, but you can question it. He's broken into a team, so you can definitely make a case for him. Miley being another one. So we've created some people who can break through, but the problem that we've had is we haven't had that consistently. We've tried to buy, under Ashley, we tried to buy cheap and cheerful, and just hope they become something. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But who cares? Because who cares? Actually, doesn't really mind. And the one thing I do like about new owners is that they definitely want to overhaul our academy system because it's embarrassing. If you look at Chelsea's, Man City, we could talk about Southampton's. There's so many better academies out there that have created, some world-class players. Look at some of the players that come from Chelsea, Southampton. There's a list of these big academies that have done really good work, and we've created some talent. I'm not saying we haven't done anything, but we're definitely behind the times. Way behind. I remember Rafa doing an open press conference with fans, going back to Rafa times, and he made a joke saying, when it wasn't a joke, it was true. Some fans are saying, has anything changed under Ashley? Has he done anything? Has anything got better since you've come in as manager, Rafa? And he said, the only thing that's happened is that door over there has been painted. That was his big investment in the club, was painting the door. And obviously the new ownership want to come in and make us an elite club, and that's what makes you an elite club. You can't keep, yes, I know you have to buy players, but the biggest problem for any club is that you can't keep paying 150, 60, 70 million for all these players because you're going to breach rules and whatever. If you can create talent of your own, you're saving yourself. If Lewis Money becomes a player we think he can become, potentially, I know this is maybe being mad, but you potentially save yourself £100 million in midfield. If he becomes a player that he possibly could, then you don't have to go out and buy that player in the future. So that's the positive of going into the academy. And I like the fact that we're trying to recruit sensibly into the academy. So look at the lad we got from City. That's a sensible investment. Someone who was causing buzz, someone who a lot of teams were looking at, and we've gone and got him. That's what I want to hear. It's what Brighton were doing. Brighton were getting these people in here you never heard of, or maybe you've heard of a little bit, and getting them in, and then people are like, hey, this player's not too bad, is he? He's a pretty decent player. That's what we want, that, because like I said, football's gone the wrong way. It's gone way too much into how much can we buy, how much can we get in, and how much do we love the fact that Lewis Miley and all these players are Newcastle born and bred. They love the club. They know what the club is. Paul Dummett is obviously, he's done some stuff that annoys us, but he is someone who understands the club, and he goes with a good farewell. And he's someone that he bleeds black and white, and you need that in your squad, no matter how big you are.
All right, Gary, what do you think, man? A lot of these young players leaving today. You're muted. Yeah, I think you're muted on StreamYard for some reason.
There you go.
There you go.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, literally firstly say word for what Paul's just said there. I mean, all successful clubs have a decent grassroots backing. And the beauty of being in the Northeast, we've got very little competition if we scout the area correctly. There's some talent that always come from the Northeast that's unfortunately have bypassed us and gone elsewhere. And what we need now is our scouts to get out there and have a really good look at the talent that we've got up and around the Northeast of England. Because there is so much out there at grassroots level. The one thing, as Paul alluded to, what I love is the fact that these new owners now have come in and said to Harper, listen, we need to, really clamp down on what we've got here and support the cause. And Steve Harper's obviously, he's the one now with all the tick box and the X's next to names. And from what I've seen so far and what we witnessed in Australia, there's very little in the youth side that can support the cause. So from my point of view, it's an absolute massive positive from the owners all the way down to show the way we're going. And like I say, I'm hoping I mean, this isn't going to go overnight. This is a 5-year program as after it looks. It's probably going to take, probably in the region of £50 million to get anywhere near bringing some players in. We've started with Alfie Harrison, and I believe from reading the reports in the sevens, Alfie Harrison's had an amazing tournament. Unfortunately, we didn't make it all the way through to the final. But it just proves that the lads are investing in the right way, and they're going to these big clubs and they're seeing the ones that aren't going to make it, and they're pulling the crop off that. And I think that is the way forward. Go to the likes of Chelsea, go to the likes of Liverpool, Man U, Man City, and take some of these kids away, because that's what they need. They need experience as well. So from the way I look at it, it's grassroots football is the way forward, and it's so nice to hear that we are now challenging to make that better.
Yeah, certainly it looks like the club is not playing around. I mean, 13 are going out, but 11 are getting signed back in. So can't forget about that. And it is under 18, part of the under 18 squad: Adam Harrison, Aiden Harris, Johnny Emerson, Anthony Munda, Scott Bailey, Sean Neve, Dylan Charlton, Rory Powell, Harry Powell. I don't know if they're related. That would be awesome. Josh Donaldson and Darren Palmer, all in to turn professional this summer. It'll be really tough for all of those to actually, be part of the first team next season. Maybe a few there, but you mentioned Alfie Harrison, who's not named here. Obviously, he doesn't need to get a contract right now. He already has one. That would be probably one player that will probably see some minutes in the first team next season. And so, I mean, the thing is, though, how many of these young players can you really give an opportunity to in the first squad? I mean, just looking at these names, I have no idea what position they play, to be honest with you. I'll be lying. Which, by the way, we were doing a members live show earlier, and Beer Riker was asking, anything new for the channel coming up. And I do believe I gotta close in on details with Gary, but I do believe that we're going to start covering the youth teams as well, their matches, at least the ones that we can get access to, because even that in itself is a little bit amateurish, because you don't know where they're going to be at. Some days they're on YouTube, some days, I mean, just kind of, all over the place. So, but our youth team is very, very much depleted, Mighty Win. So you've said it a million times over and over. But how fast can we? Is there even a fast way to help get some of these young players in line to where they're actually to where we can actually self-sustain the first club, at least in a few positions? Because I always say this: why do we have to go buy a sub goalkeeper? Why do we have to go buy a sub left back? Why don't we have that already? You know what I mean? It's at some point you have to be able to sustain yourself in certain positions. But go on.
Well, light years behind the big academies now, and it'll take. You're saying 5 years, could take 10 years. The first thing we've got to do is, which was the great point that Gary made there, we're not capitalising on local talent.
Yeah.
And the way to start that is to find out who are the scouts. You know, the guys that put in the hard yards and go around all of these junior football clubs and scout these kids and pick them up for the other clubs. Find out who's got the, do some research, find out who's got the best track records and go and, nick them. Just say, come work for us and pay them a few extra bob so that we get the pick of all the local talent. And I think we're in a position now. I think, locally, everybody knows that we're looking to head that way. So there's kids now who one stage wouldn't even think about signing for the Toon because they know there was no way through. And they knew the academy was crap compared to other academies. And we've got to persuade them, to come to the Toon. But it's 5-10 years before we're going to see anything from that. The release list that you gave, there was 2 names on there that I was quite surprised at. Not that I claim to go and see junior stuff a lot because I don't. But for me, that the charade that we saw down in Australia, the pick of the bunch on the field there was Diallo, and he's been released. And in the pre-season friendlies that were played, the one young'un who I thought looked a bit of a player when we played Gateshead was Matty Bonswell. I thought, wow, he looks as though he can play a bit. And he's been released as well. So out of all the names you said, they were the 2 that sort of I thought, well, if we're getting rid of them, the ones we're keeping must be obviously better than them. And they were the 2 that did look okay. But like I say, I don't profess to have any fantastic knowledge of that. My knowledge, I've got a good pal of mine who does go and watch all the youth thing, and he kind of keeps me up to date with anybody that he's seen. He told me about Joe White 5 or 6 years ago.
But even with Joe White, I mean, he's not really. He hasn't shown much, has he? In my opinion, in the few moments that we've seen him play, I don't think he's now. Lewis Miley.
Well, at least he's got football league experience now. He's been good enough to get football league experience. He did enough at Crewe for us to want him back, albeit when we were in the middle of that horrendous injury crisis. And he's never had a chance really. And to me, every time he's come on, he's looked okay. He hasn't pulled up any trees, but
well, I mean,
he hasn't looked out of place.
But he hasn't looked in place either. I mean,
no, because he hasn't been given the opportunity really.
He's only really had cameos. It's hard to give. It's hard to be harsh on him if he had a full game.
Well, but see, I'm not saying that he's been bad. See, we gotta, because I know already the chat's already. We haven't. I'm just. I mean, neither nay or yay on him. I'm guessing you have to give him more opportunities. Obviously, you have to.
Yeah.
But but there are talents like Lewis Miley. You put him on the pitch, he looks different, even though he's not obviously 100% developed yet. That's what I'm trying to get to. Kind of rare seeing in the Toon those types of talent. But welcome Lee back, man, on the show, brother. What do you think about this whole situation? 13 players leaving, 11 staying. What are your thoughts?
What you were talking about, the young players that are going to go forward. Like Wynn said, Jello, I'm not going to confess to say that I've got big knowledge of the young players, but I have been watching a couple of videos of Alfie Harrison, which I've actually sent Andrew Bell. I call him Belly because he's my mate.
Yeah.
But everyone knows him as Andrew Bell. Alfie Harrison is an absolute, I think, one for the future. I've watched videos of him going forward. He gets the ball, he twists, his progression is. I failed to see why they didn't take him to Australia. I just think it's one for the future, and I just think it's
because he was in Japan at the sevens tournament. That's why. Because that was the other thing. The best kids that we had were all in Japan in the tournament.
All in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, go on, Lee.
Yeah. So what like what one said is I don't have any major knowledge on the youth team, but all I do know is what I've watched is and who sprang out to me is Alfie Harrison, and he is phenomenal. What I've seen, and he's got a bright future. Like I say, his progression play, his awareness is fantastic. How he can switch the ball, his forward plays, his progression plays is just fantastic. So, like I say, he's just one major one to look out for the future.
Yeah,
really bright future. Yeah.
But I've heard that. But like most of you guys, I don't really spend time watching the youth, and that's something that we need to do, man. I know that sometimes it might not be the most glamorous or entertaining thing to do, but we've got to see how these young guys are playing, because that's where they're going to get most of their opportunities. To showcase what they got going on, and then of course, if Eddie sees anything positive, he'll bring him on onto the team. But Andy, what do you think, mate?
I think it's kind of hard to add anything of big note. I think we've covered the majority of obviously what's happened recently. Going on Alfie Harrison, I think making space in the squad for me is vital, because if we're going to see exactly, or we're going to test how good Alfie Harrison potentially is going to be, we've got to have other talented young kids around him to bring him on, and he can help bring other young kids on. The problem that we've had is everyone else is light years behind everywhere else. This championship sides have got a better academy than us. They're light years ahead of us, so we're playing catch up. And the other main thing is, like Gary said and when he's repeated, we've got to control the local talent. All of the big clubs control their local talent. Man United did it in the 90s. Man City's doing it now. If you don't get your local talent, then it's very hard to attract talent from. And not only that, we've got to show that there's opportunity there. There's no good signing all the best players in the country and not them young players not being able to look at this first team squad and go, but I'm going to get an opportunity. Recent histories to tell them that yes, they might, because Lewis Miley's had an opportunity, but albeit that was due to injury crisis. It'll be interesting to see next season how many opportunities he is able to get, and any other young player like Joe White. Like we said, Joe White, it's very hard to judge him on 6 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 15 minutes here. It's in these positions as well. If you're a forward, you can come on and get a goal in a box or something like that. But when you're a midfielder, you need minutes.
But the thing is, no, if in an injured, ravaged season where you needed players to come on and play, he's got only a few minutes. I think the youth players, only Miley has played significant amount of minutes. So realistically, next season, when most players are back and maybe potential signings are coming on, how much is Eddie going to use the youth, whatsoever in the next season coming up?
Not getting Europe's a big hit, isn't it? Because in the group stages, for example, if you're in the group stage, you've already gotten qualification. There's an opportunity to see some young players and some fridge squad players as well. The problem that we have is we've only really got 3 main competitions, and ultimately we need to take every single tournament seriously this season. So he's going to have to box clever. It's going to be interesting to see. So it's fingers crossed, but it'll be interesting to see what we actually do in the youth market, because I don't, if they are going to dip into the market, they're not going to mess around. They're not going to go for, is he going to make it? They're going to go for highly rated youngsters. So they're going to have competition on signing them as well.
Yeah. Mason, what do you think, mate? Young lads like yourself. So what are you thinking, man? 13 out, 11 in?
I think it's good in a way, because you're going to look for decent, young, hungry lads from the area who will want to play for the local team. I know there's one just went to Chelsea from Newcastle, which was disappointing to see, and obviously not only us but the Mackhams did lose a player to Brighton And obviously, you can look at you can give the Mackems credit for what they've done with young players, especially some of they've brought in players from afar as well as Brighton as well. Probably one of the best two teams in the UK who do like young give them a chance. But I think with ours mainly we need the likes of Alfie Harrison, because we can't just rely on him and trying to get players from afar like we've done like with Koal, and obviously Harrison Ashby. But yeah, I feel like with that amount of players leaving the football club, it shows you they're not messing around with the youth system. They're going to make it a lot better and make it a lot better for to compete in the Premier League youth teams, youth systems. So
yeah, that's a good point.
I think it's for me. I think it's a bit. I think it's no. It's. I think it's brilliant what they've done. No disrespect to them young lads, because I feel like they'll go down to like the National League or League Two. But yeah, I feel like some of them needed to move on, because some of them need games elsewhere, and whether it's the National League or League Two.
It's funny you mentioned Sunderland's youth academy, because a lot of people think and say that they have a better academy than we do, which which is unbelievable, because they are. If you look at where we're at, they should be we should be in better shape than they are. So that was spot on right there. And talking about that, by the way, isn't one of the Mileys playing for the Mackems? Or am I wrong? What's the Miley?
No,
the Miley situation. One of them is just signed, which is what's his name? I think he's older too. It's Jamie Miley, and I think he's older than Lewis. And there's another one.
He is.
So he's
Shane, is it a cousin or something?
Yeah, now, but let me ask you guys this, and then we'll go to Steve, because there's certainly a big mess that we're seeing, because Vilca, he's 26 years old. No, all jokes aside, he's 26, and they're labeling him as the under 21s. Why was that? And I guess I have to check all these guys' ages, because don't know that that they're even they should even be considered part of the youth or academy players. He's been in the club for like what, 4 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's contracts.
Yeah,
that's what it is. You have to see them out in the contracts, and you're allowed to play over 21s in the under 21s. I think it's 2 over 21s or the under 23s, whichever way you look at it, due to the FA guidelines. So he's just literally seeing his contract out, playing for the reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Was that? Do you think that was a PR stunt back in the time, just to get Newcastle's name out there in South America? Just go one way.
I think it was a complete screw up, mate. To be fair,
right,
I really do.
It's definitely that.
It's like everything else, isn't it? You think South America, there's going to be flair players and things like that. And I think because of the price range that they often come with, you expect something different. We've expected it from everybody that's come from South America. And some are wonders, some just aren't. And it's just the way it is. But if you look what Chris was saying, just apart from the septic six at the top, you're lucky to get 2 players from an 18 squad of youth teams. You're lucky to ever see 2 players come up from grassroots and show at a decent level for any team in the Premiership. So from that aspect, us having Miley, we've already we're already 50% there, aren't we? We only need another at the minute, and like Paul said, you've got that £100 million still in your coffers. You haven't got to spend that money. So if we can get like Alfie Harrison coming up next year, in next season, starting to produce, you've saved yourself another 50 million, say. Because these are guys for the future. These aren't now. We're not looking at these to come and hit the ground running now. They're there to support the first team. And I think that's a positive.
Sorry, Gary.
Oh, sorry, man. Sorry, but life goes. Life goes. Hey, come on,
Mason's not
man.
impressed with that one.
Oh, he interrupted that one. That's a good joke right there, man. That's a good punchline. Mason looks
nice.
also. That's a good one. That's a good one. We're not, yeah, man. That's
I apologize.
gotta take it in the chin.
No, fuck off. Me.
Move him over. Move him underneath.
Nah, we'll just leave it there, man. We'll just leave it
Go on
there.
after.
But all right, go on, Steve. I mean, give me your take on this whole situation. What do you think?
Well, yeah, every season you're going to bring players up from the younger under the youth. So you've got to get rid of players from the next team anyway, because you're not going to keep them all. As you said, it's money. You're paying contracts out. If any player comes to an end of a contract, it's like, well, right, you're gone because you're not going to get the first team anymore. You know, you're not going to get into the first team. So you can have that every season where players are going to get released. As you said, some players maybe got a longer contract because they thought, oh, he's a player of the future. But I'm very surprised that Lucas Deboli, the Scottish midfielder, tipped years ago when we brought him in that he was going to be the next big thing from Scotland. And he's done nothing. I'm very surprised because he was getting bigged up when we signed him. And
It's just, sorry to interrupt, but look at Adam Armstrong.
Yeah.
We didn't give him any time, and look what he's doing in the championship. I mean, the semi-final, he's finished where he's left out was fantastic. He's finishing the final fantastic. Now everyone's saying, should we take it? Should we? Oh, yeah, but you're gonna have to. It's going to cost you 20 million. We had him.
But that's his level.
That was it.
Never done it in the Prem. He can do it in the Championship. He cannot do it in the Prem.
No, we'll have to wait and see next season.
Finish your point, mate.
Right. But the other point is when we come into getting these players, the scouting, totally agree. The scouts need to get out there. We need to get the Northeast talent because I know like Sunderland picking players up. I looked at the under-17s England side. They got beat by Italy on penalties today in the quarterfinals. We had one Newcastle player in there, which is Leo Shearer.
Sure.
And you look at it, right? Man City have got 4, 5, 6, 7 players in there in the under-17 squad. Man U got a couple. Chelsea got one. Tottenham, Sunderland, Stoke. I think one thing with our academy system is we need to get this training complex built. We need to get a training complex that can beat Man City, where these youngsters will come to us because they know we got the facilities to help them. Because our training complex, our academy complex, isn't good enough to me. We need to really get it going. And the one good thing with us having an Adidas contract now, with the shirts and everything, we can book our first team or whatever. We can actually go to their training complex in Germany. And their training complex over there is absolutely the best in the world.
Yeah.
It's multi-million, it's a place, we can go there. But we need to look at that and use that as a game plan to do our own.
Well, just on the actual academy premises, of course, at Benton, where the first team are now, the Northumberland FA have moved out of the Blue Flames complex next door. Mm-hmm. And all the talk is that the two are going to take over that whole, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
And that would then mean that your academy are training on the same site as the first team. So the opportunity for interacting between the two squads will grow exponentially.
Yeah.
Having them all in the one place,
right,
instead of completely separate, is going to be vastly beneficial.
Oh yeah, definitely. But we need like you said, we need training pitches, an indoor training pitch, with all the physio things or whatever connected, gyms, whatever connected to it, and then a good sized stadium that can be used for the youth and other things, the women's team, everything. Having everything within one area, it's cheaper to run in the end, and all the talent that can, as you said, people working together.
Yeah.
Don't rule them out buying Timeview Park as well at some point, because I used to work at Timeview Park, and a lot of the buildings at the time were getting cleared out. Well, obviously leases end and different companies hiring the land there, but who's to say them if they offer them massive money for the land, that they, rather than move and just flatten everything and build what you need there, because it's right next to the training ground. We used to sit and watch youngsters train at work. So
absolutely perfect. That's exactly perfect, because that's what we need. Just, we don't want to move too far because we've got certain buildings, or as you said, we've got certain buildings already. So
the beauty about it is that none of that infrastructure money comes off FFP. So no matter what they spend, it's
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. But one thing, because yesterday we were talking about, I believe it was yesterday, or maybe the day before, maybe that Grand Cool, he is a youth player in itself. He's 19. Definitely not. Obviously, he's in a different type of country than these guys. They were kind of hanging in the limbo, so they were either released or given a contract. But a lot of reports saying that Grand Cool should be going, that we should give him opportunity. So, what do you guys think about that, specifically him? Because obviously, he is somebody that you can say, well, he's got talent, but definitely not shown. So if you were saying we got to give Joe White time, well, Joe White has given more time than Garan Cool has, right?
Yeah.
So
Joe White's definitely ahead of him at the moment, I think.
So, well, I mean, I'm just saying. Or I think Beer Viking in the chat, he's I believe, you quote me if I'm wrong, Beer, but you believe that he should be sold, or sent off somewhere, maybe on loan or something. But so, what do you guys think on that?
I think for me, I think he needs going. I think I've heard a variety of things. I think for me, I think he needs to go. For me, I've heard go put him out in Europe, but I think for me, I think he needs to go into League One, maybe for 6 months to a year, maybe a year, then the Championship, and then see how he goes. If he doesn't do, then see how he progresses. So, and then you see how he goes on. But it doesn't look too good, I don't think, at the moment. But that's just my point of view.
Mighty Wayne, you're saying Jamie Mason and Lewis Miley all at the tune, and Leighton Miley is a Sunderland. My goodness, man, their parents got busy. Like, we're gonna get all footballers. So that's good, man.
We should just get them. Hire the Maileys as our sayer and Tom.
Yeah, man, that's it. Yeah,
it should be our scout.
Make another 6 will be all right.
That's unbelievable, man. Let's get to some comments, because people are talking about this right here. So let's give people their platform halfway through the show. 90 people watching, so please hit the likes. It helps us a lot. If you're new, subscribe to the channel so we can grow this community. AG says, what do you make of that? Well, we'll talk about the EFL Cup rule changes here in a minute. So we'll leave that bookmark. It says, good gesture for Miley that's given $5 back for shirt sales. Beer Biken, Trevin Sanusi, Leo Shahar, Michael Mills, Alfie Harrison, and Sam Alabi are all exciting ones to watch in our academy. Tristan says, sorry, not me. Not me. Of these kids will get in the first team. Eddie has to push for Europe. Tonali is back, and new signings will be brought in to compete, or Eddie is gone. He's not going to put his job on them. Well, I mean,
we're not talking about this season. We're talking about the future, Tristan.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely not going to put all these young guys. All at once.
You can't keep buying 100 million here, 90 million. It's ridiculous. You need to invest in the future of the club.
Yeah. AG, good gesture. Oh, we read that. Beer says Australia was a big test out. Test our best was a big test. to test the youth, and it was in Hong Kong.
Our best youth
Oh,
was
okay,
in
there we
Hong
go.
Kong.
Well, yeah, Australia was up, but then again, it's one game, so is that fair enough? It's not, but then obviously you got to take in consideration everything else that they've been doing. I mean, because they're not all going to get an opportunity on the first team, so they have to pass their test, quote unquote, in their respective categories. If not, well, they must go, because that's what these other 11 did, and they got a contract. So Mighty Mac kids now don't play in the street like we did back in the 80s. It's showing my age now. Yeah. Tristan Hole, mighty win, and we bought Bondswell from Leipzig, and in 3 years he's failed. Don't even remember Bondswell.
He actually made a first team appearance, didn't he, under Steve Bruce when we were desperate, I think.
Yeah.
When we were desperate. Lars says, dude, he was not even given a single honest chance to show anything. Joe White, that is. Well, yeah. Tristan says you can say the same about Anderson, as White not showing enough. Well, Anderson, I mean, how old is Anderson? I mean, he's young, but
21
or so.
I think.
See, I don't even look at him. I mean, yeah, he would
Like,
technically be part of the youth, but I don't even look at him as I look at him as a first team player, So
I think he's been brilliant. When he's come on, I think he's been absolutely fantastic.
Right.
I think he's like, honestly, I think he's been brilliant. I can't say enough good about him. He's been fantastic.
Yeah,
22 in November.
He's been asked to play out of position a lot of times as well. He's getting judged unfairly at times because he's. It was at the Brighton game, if I remember correctly. He was practically playing in a back five. Every time he was covering left back. Dan Burn was playing centre back, and he was literally a left back. Right. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he started out as a left winger. That was his main position, wasn't it? And now all of a sudden he's midfield, and like you just said, he's been all over the place. So you can't really judge the kids on being one of these variable type of players, because that's Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe wants these lads to be actually adaptable to most positions, and I think when you see that, you'll see the benefit in 2 or 3 seasons. You won't see the benefit now.
Right. Stephen Howe says, "Are you related to Eddie?" Listening to reports today, as it appears Man United may also be struggling with PSR issues. Ratcliffe seems to be another Mike Ashley with his penny pension and not signing anyone over 25. Well, there you go.
That's why they didn't want him. That's why the fans didn't want him.
Peter
wanted the other guys because they could put all the money in, and they were, oil me up, as Gorbage kept saying. They didn't want Ratcliffe. They want him now, but they didn't really want him.
Peter says, I think Joe White is good, skillful player. They can all be world beaters. That's right. Beer says the best youth has trained with the first team. We need to use our financial power to rate some of the best kids. Doesn't go against FFP. Life goes. Oh yes, I read that one. Rosie, Ian, congrats, mate. I knew you'd win. What did Ian win? I guess like Celtic win something. Or no, she wouldn't be congratulating him. I tell you that. So I don't know what Ian won. Peter says, all we need is another Beardsley. There must be one somewhere. Well, I wish we could just make them in a factory, and but unfortunately that's not the case. All right, well, let's keep talking about it. I mean, I was a little bit surprised about Diallo, but then again, it's just at the end of the day, you just don't know, man, with these young lads if they're going to perform. I have no idea. However, another piece of news today is that Mark Gillespie officially got his extension. I thought this was already announced, wasn't it? Or was it not official by the club?
It was announced that he was getting it.
Right. But
I can't give him a new one until the one expires, can you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know that. Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, that does make sense. But I'm saying, you announced it a month ago. Just sign the thing today and don't say anything. Because you know what, you're gonna piss fans off twice. That's why.
Best job in football. He has got the best job ever.
He has indeed.
Ever.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess let's go around. I mean, Paul, you think he's got the best job in football?
I'm right.
We're not no European football, so I mean that local thing rule, whatever the hell they do, and in European football doesn't apply. You guys know what I'm talking about. But I mean, Dubravka, don't know what's happening there. we're looking to add another goalkeeper. It seems like some, for the rumors that are out there. Karius is gone, so I don't know. I'm a bit confused on the goalkeeping situation. But what do you think?
I think it's going to be it's frustrating because the club will be very, very serious about an elite goalkeeper. I'm not having a go at Trafford, but I wouldn't call him elite in my personal opinion. We were looking at obviously different breed of goalkeeper, and then the club has kind of changed their mind, which is really frustrating because we've done quite a lot to get the deal around the corner. And now we're looking at Trafford in particular. As I think we've decided that Pope is going to be our number one. I think maybe they've had a talk with Pope and he wasn't happy being number two, which is, it is what it is. And they're hoping that Trafford is going to push him for the number one spot to obviously inspire him to be a better, to be a bit the best goalkeeper. But I don't know, some people are annoyed about it because they want Newcastle to be ruthless, and there is a bit of that. I mean, Eddie has kind of said it himself; he struggles to be ruthless. So it looks like we are, that looks like the most obvious deal we're doing with the goalkeeper situation. So then you have Pope as your number one, Trafford is the one who tries to push him or probably plays cup games or whatever, and then Gillespie who just goes everywhere and doesn't get a game.
Yeah. Question from Terry, by the way. Terry Bilton, first time I'm seeing you, so welcome to the channel. Can someone confirm to me if Minte is definitely going to be included for preseason games? This would make sense, especially when we need a player on the right wing. I believe everything is pointing towards that direction. That we're not looking to. I would be taken back if we would loan him out again. Need to do, which is play good in their prospective team. So what would be at some point you have to give him time and opportunity, because clearly Almiron is not good enough. And so why not give him time? Murphy, obviously, what he gives you. So I mean, anybody has any thoughts on Minte?
He's going to Japan,
so he's going to Japan. Say yes, yeah. I guess if you look at it, if you're conservative about it, then he's going to Japan, so that's going to be his next test. I guess to prove the manager that he can. But I guess if he goes to the preseason also, I mean, because then you're going to have to find him a club quickly. It just doesn't make sense. I think he's going to stay on. So, but no, nothing confirmed yet, mate. Nothing confirmed, Terry. But there is a few days ago, I think we read a report that the Everton might be looking to get him. So on the loan or a buy maybe, but it wouldn't make sense for us to.
No.
We have to look after ourselves. I don't think. I wouldn't be interested in that at all. But yeah, we were talking about Mark Gillespie, Gary. So I mean, we talked about it at the time, but so now the club brings it up, so we're gonna have to get pissed off again. Tell me, you're sensible, so tell me how it makes sense.
Not been called that for a long time.
How it makes sense for the club to do that, or why?
If you think about it, right, we knew Karius was going. We knew Karius was going months ago.
Yeah.
Mamardashvili has got an £80 million release clause. There's no way we are going to pay £80 million for Mamardashvili to release him. There was talk around about the 35-40 million mark. But again, from my point of view, as a 23-year-old keeper that, as of yet, I mean, yes, he's a great shot stopper, but is he what we're looking for that type of money? Now, there's two ways of looking at Trafford. Trafford coming in as a 21-year-old as our number two. You're absolutely right, Chris, what you were saying before. He's with the four-man goalkeeper team in England. I don't think he'll make the final cut, but he's out there obviously getting the experience that's required. Gillespie was always only ever going to be number three for us. He's like that reserve. And he's never going to be anything more than that. So what Eddie Howe has done, rather than just say, you know what, we've got a crisis now with the goalkeeping situation by getting rid of everybody, let's keep him as our number three. He's not showing anything last season, well, for the last few seasons. So what's the difference? What makes it any worse than up for another season? It doesn't. It makes absolute sense just to keep him in the coffers, just in case we get in the need. He's never going to be good enough for a number one or a number 2, but it's just as a precaution. Now, Trafford, I'm not positive and I'm not negative with him because, like I say, I think he's still got a good few years to grow in that position. No rose blooms straight away. I mean, it's like they say, you've got to produce the goods and you've got to give him the necessary chance to produce the talent. But goalkeeping is a specialised position, and unfortunately, I don't think Trafford's had the smoothest run as we speak. Going to Burnley, that were always one of the favourites to go down. It was always going to be a struggle to keep them up, and I do think he's probably been basted quite a lot for some of the goals that have gone against them. I don't think all of them have been his fault. But again, from the point of view of him coming in, it's what we do with him once he gets here. I mean, that's if you're going to go out for an elite keeper, then you must go and look for an elite keeper. But if you're going to find somebody who's a young, up and coming keeper, then you've got to produce the type of talent to support him. And I think that's where we've got to look at now. Have we got the right structure around these guys, these youngsters, to give them all they can, to give them all the tactics, all the training that they need to produce these elite players? Because that's at the end of the day, that's what we're looking at, isn't it? If what Steve was saying about going down to grassroots and giving these guys the best possible training facilities, then we also need to look at it around the first team and have we got the right coaches around them to support them?
Yeah.
I thought you were winding me up when you said his release clause was about 80 million, and I've looked at it, and it's 85 million euros. So you're pretty much. I can't believe that.
That's what I said. He was never going to come to us. Never ever going to come to us.
Yeah. South Links Tunes. Welcome back, mate. Saying second best job in football. First has to be Scott Carson.
Man, calm yourself down.
Totally great.
But I mean,
the thing about Trafford is he was obviously to blame, or at least the company thought he was obviously to blame for some of the goals that were shipping because he got dropped.
Well,
yeah, but is that because of his age? Was it again? You've got to think of the pressure that these guys are under.
To me, to improve as a keeper, the only way to improve as a keeper is to play. I agree. And play competitive, proper competitive football.
And you see, I think that's what's gone against him as well. Because when you're dropped as a keeper, it's like Dubravka. It's a knock, isn't it? It's a knock to you and your personal, individual performance. No keeper wants to be dropped, and that's why you're getting, rumblings in the background at Arsenal now, because you've got two, as they class it, elite keepers there. Yeah. And now there's a little bit of background noise from the two of them that they're not actually talking to each other in the dressing room. They separate each other. Now, in all dressing rooms, you've got to have harmony, and that's what I said. If you bring Mamardashvili in, just say for instance, are we going to have unrest in the dressing room? Because at this present moment in time, that's the last thing we need.
The goalkeeper that was brought in for Burnley as well immediately had two terrible games where he cost Burnley 4 points in 3 games, playing out from the back. I mean, Burnley shoot themselves in the foot half the time with the way that they just insist on playing out from the back. So they do sell the goalkeeper short sometimes.
The new Bayern manager.
That is. Do you know what it is? That is crazy.
I think as an individual, isn't it?
Companies, no doubt, he's going to demand respect from these big players and etc. at Bayern Munich. But I just think he's
get relegated with Burnley and get the Bayern job, eh? That's football for you.
That is unbelievable. I could never believe.
When did you not hear the breaking news?
No.
Steve Bruce has been interviewed for the Barcelona manager.
All right. Yeah.
It's not able. Is it the first able?
I put it on Twitter, man. I was like, when I heard this about company, I said, Ashley take over Bayern or something. What the hell is going on here?
Well, now the bacon is in Barcelona.
0 sense, man. It makes 0 sense.
It's Chelsea, though, isn't it?
It's exactly Greg's opening Barcelona.
God.
Maresca had one season under Pep. He went to the favourite in the Championship, come straight back up. It was a Premiership side. He's brought them straight back up, which is more or less guaranteed, and now he's got the Chelsea job. I tell you, there's going to be a lot of changes going on within the Premiership. It's going to be a totally different league next season. I'm telling you now. With everything that's
anyone
going.
could have gotten that Leicester side promoted. I mean, Memorabilia on the left-hand side is going to be a very good player. They've got some top talent in there. If you weren't getting automatically promoted with that Leicester side, then you've got a big problem. As a manager, I can't understand these managers getting rewarded with big jobs sometimes. I really can't.
Yeah, I mean, he company was a great defender, by the way. But I mean, that has nothing to do with.
It doesn't be a good manager, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Rudy was a great forward, but he doesn't make a good manager.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, Wayne Rooney is the. Oh man, Wayne Rooney has relegated. If we had relegation in MLS, he would have relegated Dallas a couple of times, and he relegated. Where was he at? QPR? No, not QPR. Birmingham. Birmingham. Yeah, come on.
Birmingham. Yeah.
He's just not a good manager, man.
He didn't relegate them, but I mean, obviously, he was the part and parcel of it.
Yeah. But at some point, you just gotta say, man, this not every team I go, they don't play good. You gotta know what your strengths are, man.
What's the common denominator with that?
Yeah.
The guy that's gone to Chelsea though, he worked with Pep, didn't he?
Enzo.
Is that right?
For a year.
Is that his name, Enzo?
For a year.
But that's another thing. It makes no sense on these teams, man. You sacked Pochettino, who was doing great, got you to sixth place, didn't start great, but ended up all right. And you're gonna go find a championship manager. It has no.
What's this guy's record? So he worked with. All I know is that he worked with Pep, and then he went down to Leicester. What else?
People think. Well, I mean, look. Arteta, I guess, hadn't done too bad, but also Arteta had a name for himself, good player, etc. I guess that could work.
Don't forget, Arteta was nearly sacked at Arsenal, wasn't he?
Oh, he was.
Arteta didn't have absolutely. I mean, another couple of games, and I think he would have been gone.
Well, half the fan base still want him gone.
And we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see if they don't win the title next season if it stays.
They won't.
With the amount of players Chelsea have got, how long is it going to take him to know his best 11?
It's the same cycle. It's the same cycle as I'm sure we've been on before. You keep changing the manager like that. The manager's got to come on. He's got to implement his style. Got to get to know the players, and it's just the same cycle, vicious cycle. What do you expect? You know what I mean? What do you expect? It just makes no sense.
Bloody Leicester have lost their manager, and thanks to the Premier League's stupid rules, they're probably going to have a bloody points deduction as well. The shambles. Those fans, honestly, the people that get dicked around more than anyone else is the fans. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
The only thing they've done is copied Watford's. What did Watford used to do? Get a manager a year later. No matter how good they did, get another manager. It's just crazy. It's stupid.
I think they should bring a rule in that unless a manager commits misconduct, they should be able to do a job for a certain amount of time. Because at the end of the day, as long as he's doing his job and he is not doing anything bad, like misconduct or anything else, they should let him carry on and get his job done.
But then again,
his job is to get results. That's a manager's job.
But what I'm saying though is,
he's not doing his job.
I think
if he's only just coming in, he's got
owners in that just are complete fucking arseholes and doing this, sacking good managers.
Yeah,
is that not good?
Not giving him the job, enough time to do the job. You can't expect a man to come in 6 months with hardly any money, or even if he has got money, at the end of the day, if he's got players there he's got to get rid of, how long does it take to get a team together that he knows that he could do well with? You sack a manager within 6 months, it's like...
What's a good manager?
Are you the spokesperson for the Managers Union?
Oh yeah.
No,
Steve.
No,
but it does make sense in this situation.
Yeah.
Now,
if you are set objectives at the start of the season and you achieve them objectives and you still lose your job, you've got to think, well, hang on, you set a target for us. I've achieved that target. Yeah. Why am I getting sacked?
That's it. Right. I think Poch, really, there's no reason why they should have sacked him. He done well. He gone into Europe. If anything, if I was Poch and they have actually sacked him, whatever, he has. I think he has a case of unfair dismissal. To me,
He's
getting
it's
paid
gonna
off
happen,
anyway.
Well, he's gonna get paid, so that's gonna be.
He's getting fully paid off his contract. But
yeah.
He's laughing, really.
and then he can go and work somewhere else. If he's done such a great job, he'll get a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think he will, by the way.
We can say that it's unfair for him to get sacked.
You know, and if I'm putting billions of pounds down and going to buy a put, I'll hire and fire who the hell I want to hire and fire. Not
Yeah,
gonna
that's
have
a-
The lucky thing
me who I
Poch
can
has
hire
got,
and fire.
As a
the
Trump
lucky thing
mentality.
Poch has got is they've sacked him when it was going well for him, rather than at the beginning. If they'd sacked him within 4 or 5 months when he took the job, would he walk back into another Premier League job? He will probably get another one now, because he were seeing signs that Chelsea were going to be a force next season.
Yeah.
What my
All right,
point is,
let's go on. Finish your point, Lee.
what Poch has walked into a shit show, and he's had to put up with what he's got to deal with. Same as Ten Hag, he's walked into a shit show, and with players that just don't have the right mentality.
Yeah.
With Chelsea again, they don't have the right mentality. God, it's good that we've got a good team and good manager, that we've got that mentality.
It definitely makes you think. You know, Eddie's not doing too bad. Eddie's not doing bad, and not only that, but I'm saying our owners are sensible enough to understand, because there was a one point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot forget. I keep telling y'all that. Don't forget, because at one point in time last season, Toon fans were boiling at one point in time, calling Eddie out. Tiger Studios, one of our watchers, comes on right now saying, "Hope, have a good day. How are you guys doing?" Before, the first thing he would say is, "Eddie Howe out." You know, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. Of
Never
course,
agreed with that. Never agreed with that.
Well, everybody's entitled to their opinion in this channel. We don't ban anybody for having a football opinion. So, unlike other channels out there, but a lot of fans were on that bandwagon, and you know, and so it is what it is. But our owners are sensible enough to understand that we just got to ride this heavy wave, man. We just gotta get, and then obviously, but they're not stupid, because next season, if we don't get Europe with no other tournaments to play, and we don't look different, I guarantee you, I'll put money on that. Listen, next season is Eddie Howe's
make or break.
I agree. Every season is
No. This season coming up, Eddie Howe has to put it down for real, or you know, he I'm not saying win the league. I'm not saying anything crazy, but we got to get back to the to Europe and all that stuff. So
this is a season that we need to invest big and go big, or go home.
If Eddie doesn't get Europe next year, at least Europe, I would say Champions League myself.
Yeah,
you know, then his job's on the line, and that's right. It's quite right too.
That's right. All right.
That Bruno, unless something mental happens, Bruno is happy to stay at Newcastle, which is blatantly obvious. So all the people.
Well, obviously, if he loses Isaac and Bruno, then it's a whole different ball game. You know,
reports saying that Bruno was upset not getting Conference League, all this bollocks. Absolutely not. He couldn't have cared less. What does Conference League matter to him? Come on, man. They're gonna when they stay, they're gonna smash it next season. We're gonna finish. I know we're doing predictions probably before the season. I'm gonna predict we finish second next year.
One thing I want to say.
That's what I predicted last season, and I still think we could have done if we hadn't had all the injuries. Look where we're finished now.
I got breaking news from the club. Breaking news right now from the club emailing me. That I was refunding my £5 for the game. I'm assuming that's the one against the All-Stars. The Australia All-Stars. So I don't know why it's saying that, but also emailing the stream AMG. I think that's for the
I think what that means is there must be refunding all the money for the people that paid for the stream.
Exactly. That's what. Thank you for cutting me off. That's what I was going to say. That the club is refunding, which is fair enough. I
which is
I would
brilliant.
I would have been happy with a simple apology because I'm not just an extreme to one side because they were late, a few minutes late. It shouldn't have been, but this is good enough. This is a good enough apology. Trust me, because we got to watch most of the game. But yeah, so we're getting the refunds. Everybody getting their refunds, unless it's just they're just taking care of the American mag, which I still appreciate. But I'm sure that everybody's getting their refunds. So good for the club. Right in the wrong. 107 people watching, man. All Lees and Andy Bells and Mason fans watching right now, and Mighty Wayans fans, everybody. The second most voted pundit in NUFC Talk TV, Paul, Gary out there as well as Steven. So thank you so much for watching out there. Hit the likes, subscribe, become a member of this community, and enjoy exclusive content, which we're going to be giving away an Andy Cole shirt right now. So, but before that, let's discuss quickly
Grab it.
the EFL Cup. What I saw somewhere, I read it, but as you know, I got a million things going on, and I forgot about it. So, anybody, raise your hand who wants to explain. You want to, Steve? Go ahead and explain the new change. Is it a new change, or is it they're thinking about it? What's going on?
Something that they're discussing about the seeding for the League Cup. They're basically saying is because of Europe and everything, the teams that are in Europe will play in the later rounds. So that means that we're going to have the top teams still in the cup in the later rounds. So we're like to Newcastle, who might get so far, we might end up playing one of the big teams literally straight away within that round. Because by the time that it gets round to it, it'll be all the big teams that are left.
Isn't it that they're also going to make it so the Champions League teams don't get drawn against Europa League teams?
Yeah.
That's the main one.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous, I think.
It's because Europa play on Wednesday, on Thursdays, sorry. Europa and conference teams play on Thursdays, and Champions League and play on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So it's just to prevent fixture pile-ups, basically.
Yeah.
I think before we continue, before we continue quickly, I'm switching the chat to members only chat because we're about to give away an Andy Cole signed shirt. You have the opportunity to enter this by becoming a member now. Hit the join button right there. Sign Andy Cole. That's the shirt. So become a member now. You're gonna have a chance to participate. Are you gonna do it? Go on, maybe. Yeah, man, go and become a member, man. Thank you so much, brother Lee.
How?
Oh, how? Do you have an iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Oh, there's no join button there. So do you have a? They.
I'll leave it, man. It's all right. I'll catch you on the next one. It's all right.
Well, actually, I'm sending you a link. Hold on, man. Relax, brother. Don't be you're impatient, man. I'll send you. I'll put the link. Who's Andy Cole says Alan Thompson.
Andy Cole. Andy Cole, he gets the ball and scores a goal. Andy Cole.
What do you guys feel? What did you guys feel when he joined Man U? Hold on. I'm sending the link. I'm sending the link right now. So if you're in the chat, hit that link, become a member, and be able to participate in this giveaway. So the link is in the chat right now, and I'm also going to send it on the private chat in case. Lee's never mind. Lee's not.
Would be typical. I win a draw for the first time in like 30 years or something. I win.
You won the last one, man. You got the book.
I get a book. Not a signed Andy Cole shirt,
Yeah, man.
But it's a good book.
Yeah, it's a lovely book.
That's it. Who's ever sent it was,
You forget though, you can't read. You can't read.
It's got lots of pictures.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll get Lee to read it to us. It's all right.
That's a really fun story.
Oh no fix, Rosie, no fix at all. And so just become a member right now. Become a member, folks. You're gonna miss out on a good shirt. Okay, so let's finish our point with the EFL. Actually, Paul, you were upset about that. I saw you on Facebook. I think you were taken back by this potential rule change.
Yes, it just honestly, do you want to make this cup any more Mickey Mouse than it already is? Really, like You know, oh, we can't have the Champions League players in the teams having, you know, these fixtures. Oh, we have to protect them. Shut the fuck up. You play football. Sorry, it pisses me off. You play football and you're in a competition. You don't want to take it seriously. Put your B team out. Stop fucking moaning and play the games. You're professional footballers, and that's your job. And it does my head in. Klopp is one of the worst for it, moaning on. I'm so glad he's gone, moaning on. We're playing all these games. Well, you got a big squad, mate. Stop moaning about it. We were playing we had all the games last season, all the games that you could have thought of. Champions League, all of them. Eddie Howe didn't once moan. And I'd always give him credit for that. He didn't once bitch about it or moan about it. He just said, look, we've got loads of injuries. We've just got to do what we do. We just keep going. It's just you know, it's just ripping money out of the teams that are lower, you know, not giving them a chance to go away, you know, go to a big club, you know, get a big payday. You know, yes, they might get in the FA Cup, but it's rare in the FA Cup because you've got to go through so many draws and whatever. And it's just like the point of the Carabao Cup was to get more teams involved in it. And again, it's just this pointless thing to protect the big six in particular, just so they don't have to play more games. Oh no, can't play more games. Then leave the league, go to the Super League, and fuck off.
Yeah. Well, he's hot. He's hot, ladies and gentlemen. All of you members out there, Mighty Mag, he gave a membership away and he went to Predator, a regular watcher. So that's a cool deal. So all members type hashtag NTTV, hashtag NTTV in the chat right now, please, folks. Hashtag NTTV. Mason, I think you're a member too. Hashtag NTTV, mate. If you wanna win, but you know, not NCTV, Mighty Win. You fool. NTTV.
All right, Derek.
Signed shirt. There you go. There's a signed shirt, ladies and gentlemen. The one and only Andrew Cole, who left us for Manu, but we're not gonna remember that.
How did you come across the shirt, Paul?
So yeah, mate.
How did you get the shirt? Was it something from years ago, or?
No, so my wife. It's a bad story in one way. My wife is a really big Man United fan, and there was an event in Northampton.
Sorry,
I think you've put in the wrong thing, mate. You've put NCTV.
Yeah, Steve, you got to change that to NTTV, man.
You didn't put it in the WhatsApp chat.
You're not going to get in the draw, buddy.
Yeah.
Wins put NCTV as well.
NTTV, and it's random, by the way, and it's random. I'm just trying to check right now. A lot of people commenting. Rosie, I don't see you putting NTTV. You know, you want to get a chance, girl. Put NTTV. NTTV in the chat. Let me see. Let's see if Predator did it. Predator, he didn't do it. So I don't know if it's anyway. So I'm just letting you guys know. NTTV.
It was an event in Northampton. So I bought it for my wife's birthday because Andy Cole and a few other players were there talking about mainly Man United stuff, obviously. But I just asked as a bit of a punt. I was like, I had 4 things on me, Newcastle related, and I just said to him very politely, do you mind if I get more signed? And he was really nice about it. It was really, and he took the jobs off me very well. He took that very well. The other lads joined in as well, which was really nice. And they kept Pete Graves kept pointing to me all night, saying that I was the one Newcastle fan in the room. And they made it really fun for us. So it was really good. And we won the raffle. So they took us backstage. My wife got to hold like the Champions League Cup and all that. And they're making jibes at me, saying that we'll never have that. So it was really top actually. Cool. They were really, really good to us.
Quick story for you. Lee came with a snooker thing for us once. Won tickets to go and see Jimmy White and Alex Higgins not long before, sadly, he passed.
Tell the truth.
That's odd. Nicks Jimmy White's bottle of Budweiser, peels the sticker off so it's all white, and then gets him to sign it. How can you nick someone's bottle of beer and go, oh, by the way, could you sign your own bottle of beer?
Hell yeah. Lee, were you able to do it?
No, man, it's cool. I can't find it, man. Just go for it, man. Next time.
That's all right, man. We're gonna give you £3. I'll send you £3 in a minute because I know you're struggling, mate. No, I'm playing with you. All right, so let's get to it, folks. Where is it? There we go. We're gonna put it right here, NTTV, and start collecting drawers. We got 24 drawers. Nice, 24 members watching. So
Stevie,
you guys ready?
Putting it in lowercase as well, by the way.
All right.
Oh, it's all good, man. No worries. NTTV is gonna work, man. Well, you old as hell, Win.
Yeah, that's the picture.
Yeah, man. Win's like lowercase, or you're not gonna get it. Anyways, let's get folks. Who's going to win this shirt? Andy Cole signed shirt. Let's get it. Ooh, look at that. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Andrew Bell. Andrew
I'm
Bell all
on
day.
it.
Well, I thought it was talking to me there for a second.
Ian
Ian
Fleming.
again.
Right.
Oh,
Well done.
Ian Fleming, man. Ian Fleming winning the shirt. It was going to be Mighty Win, which I was going to do it again because he's a fraud. He was not going to win that one. But it goes to Ian Fleming again, man. I think he won the book last time. So, Ian, well done. Well done, Ian.
Yeah, Ian got that last time.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Does he want another book to his collection? I'll swap for a shirt.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. I love it when the fans get stuff, man. So much appreciated.
Well done,
Much
Ian,
appreciated.
boy. Well done,
Well
sir.
done, mate.
Much appreciated to
well
to Paul, first of all, for wanting to donate.
Yeah.
He's better than me because I'm not giving away my Rob Lee shirt.
I've got 3 others, remember.
Well, yeah, you got the damn. What the hell
Steve?
you had Andy Cole working. It's like, come on, you got
Oh, you're boring. You're not
multiple
listening.
shirts and multiple shirts coming.
You're
Come on,
listening.
man.
I was looking 4 things.
What's Steve showing us there?
Right. That is the first ever edition of the Match magazine from 1979 with Kevin Keegan on the front in England red top. 9 years ago, I had it signed. Where the light is, that is signed by Kevin Keegan.
Nice.
And it's
Wow.
it's the only copy of the Match magazine from '79 to ever be signed.
Oh wow, we're gonna give it away too.
The same picture went on the no chance. The same picture went on the annual of that year as well. It's like a yearly, like the boys are done.
Yeah, used to do the
They used to do
Christmas
a
in the
yearly
stocking.
Yeah, man. So that's proper right
Yes.
there, man. So good deal.
Well, that was I can't see it very well. That was the program for the night for the actual Kevin Keegan night.
Yeah.
And that's signed as well to prove when it was signed. So no doubtly my daughter will inherit that. So when she's a bit older, that might be worth something.
Hell
Very
yeah.
good.
That's good. All right. Well, I mean, it's been an amazing show, amazing fans forum. Thank you so much for watching out there. Thank you. Congrats to Ian. We're gonna get that shipped as soon as possible. There he goes. Kevin Keegan, man. Where did you meet Keegan at?
It was a gentleman's evening in
Oh, I thought it was a gentleman's club.
No,
It wasn't a
gentleman's
gentleman's
evening.
Oh, wait a minute. What's Keegan doing
Is the
in there?
book still open if it was a gentleman's club? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, man. It was a gentleman's club. I see Keegan still scoring.
No, it was just basically it was a tour he did. He basically just told his story of his career, and got to meet him and chat with him. And
Hey, Rosie roasting. Ian says that's lovely. Ian can have a top of a winning team. Rangers. Come on, man.
Chris, can I tell you a story? Chris, can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
My dad had a scaffolding company, and we did the scaffolding on Alan Shearer's house. He got the contract for Alan Shearer's house, and it was 114 Runnymede Road. And I was once carrying out a 21 back out of his house onto the lorry, and I seen this person you got peripheral vision on my right peripheral vision, and it was Alan Shearer. And I shit myself, and I put this 21 on the back of the wagon. And he always a case where he come to the house on the Thursday to have a crack with the architecture every Thursday about, what he wants done and the windows or whatnot. And we just played in Europe, I think the Thursday before. And I said to him, we played shocking. They were fouling us all over the park, and it was terrible. And I said to him, And it was the first thing that came to my mind. I said to him, "Hey, I tell you what, Alan, they played like they were in Emmerdale, like like they were fouling, they were jumping all over the place and diving and everything. They could have been in Emmerdale." And he went, "What? Do you like Emmerdale?" And with that, he got in his car and drove off. And I thought, fucking hell, I've just told my idol that he thinks I like Emmerdale. Honestly, I'll never live it down. I'll never live it down ever. The worst conversation I've ever had with my idol. He walks away from me thinking I like fucking Emmerdale. Do you know what I mean? Couldn't have been any worse.
Well.
True story.
Yeah, man. Cool stuff. Well, thank you so much for all of you coming to the Fans Forum. I appreciate that. All the chatters and everything. We were over 100 people watching. So awesome stuff. At one point, I mean, I think Rosie told me that she's your friend, Andy. Is that right?
Rosie?
No, did she say Andrew? I thought she said Andrew Bell. Rosie, who was the one that told you about the channel? I thought you said Andrew Bell.
Oh yes, I did tell her about the channel. I just I used to help a lad out on a channel at Chelsea, and she should be a regular contributor there.
Gotcha.
And I was letting them know about you. Yes.
You're gonna get in trouble here, like didn't.
You're getting in trouble.
Oh no. But no. So I thought you guys knew each other and stuff like that.
No, we don't.
Cool, that's cool.
We just know of each other from. Yeah.
Jim told Rosie to come. It's fine.
Yeah. And I made Rosie a mod because she's been busy. I mean, she's showing the.
Yeah, she's big sport and all channels.
Telling people to subscribe, telling people to get on, and all that stuff. So that's cool. That's stuff. We need to keep the chat involved and the chat, because a lot of times we're busy doing other stuff, so we don't have time to remember. So appreciate Rosie and appreciate all the mods. Ian Flamin, of course, Beer Bike, and then you got Mighty Mag and AG. All of you guys doing amazing work. So thank you so much. And yeah, man, we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday, so American Mag show. I'm sure other news is gonna break in tomorrow. It's always news in the transfer window with Newcastle United. So we'll be back tomorrow, of course. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your support.
Take care.
We'll see you. Thank you to all the members.
Smash those likes on the way out, folks.
Bye-bye.